Hi, folks. Super excited to talk with you about Jupiter retrograde in Gemini. This is a pretty big deal that's coming up, and so I hope that this chat will help you prepare for what's to come and make most of this transit. So today my mission is to help you understand what Jupiter retrograde is all about, so that you don't have to go through this season that actually is about reworking the Gemini area of your life, but you're able to do all of this, reworking things in your perspective without heartache or wasting your precious time. So that is my intention. That is my mission today as I am talking with you about Jupiter retrograde in Gemini. So what you'll learn in this video is what Jupiter retrograde means, what Jupiter and the retrograde cycle that Jupiter goes through, what it means, how to thrive during this transit, and actual dates to look out for, because you will be feeling certain things, you'll be noticing certain things, and hopefully this is kind of helps you just work with it and not take, again, unnecessary risk and experience heartache. And then I'll close this talk with a collective reading so that, just got the support, all the support you need. So what is Jupiter? For all the planets, I love to see the planets as actors of the force of creator, God, goddess, whatever it is that you believe in the higher power. These planets represents these aspects of ourselves, or they play as the actors. And so as we are seeing the actors of life and how they play in our life and the role that they play, we can now choose how we participate with them free will. So this planet, Jupiter in particular, is the planet of luck and optimism, and how we increase our sense of it throughout life. And I gave you some keywords here to also look at. So Jupiter not only represents joy and optimism and luck, but he also represents law. He also represents justice, religion and spirituality, growth and generosity, inflation, even our philosophy, how we are assisted, how we get support, social opportunities as well. And originally, Jupiter rules Sagittarius and Pisces. These are the two signs that Jupiter represents. He rules. He gives his qualities to, and so wherever Jupiter goes, those placements. So if we're thinking about our chart, those placements in our chart is also affected. So you want to take a look not only where Gemini is placed, because that's where actually Jupiter is moving through, but also where Sagittarius and Pisces in your birth chart is also placed, because you will start to get some developments going on there, because Jupiter is giving those qualities, those experiences over to those places as well. So that is just something to be aware of. Now, what does Jupiter retrograde actually mean? So if Jupiter represents, luck and prosperity, our ability to take risk, meaning in life, philosophy, it's basically these expressions are now being challenged and internalized and in manifesting, possibly as suppressing these desires. As we are here on Earth, and we're looking at the stars, we will be looking at Jupiter, and if we continue every night and go outside and look, it will appear Jupiter is moving backwards. It'll appear he's slowing down and starting to move backwards, reversing his course in the sky. And so when we're giving this, we have this observation internally in a very subjective sense. These expressions of Jupiter is also backtracking, it's reversing. And it could be, we're internalizing this, we are reflecting, we are rethinking, we are withholding, or reversals are happening. Delays are going on of things of Jupiter. And so with this, transit, we are demanded having to examine this Jupiter qualities and understanding maybe our intrinsic moral code, what intrinsically is motivating to us to grow in life, to expand our horizons, what is actually driving us to do that. And we would have this experience of reflection as Jupiter is retrograde. So if you want to use this transit in the best way possible, this is not the time to force opportunities to happen, to push yourself to try to make things happen, but instead reflect and review and understand, why are we doing these things? Is growth really necessary here? So one of my favorite books is Retrograde Planets by Aaron Sylvian. So I give you this quote here from that book. So if planets can be said to have intent, Jupiter's purpose in its retrograde cycle is to connect one with a deeper, more personal sense of justice. Not jurisprudence, I think I'm saying that word right, but with that which is correct for one's integral balance and health. So again, even with like Aaron's word here, we are using this time to reconnect with ourselves and understand what we need to have good health in our lives, mentally, spiritually, because again, Jupiter domain is about spirituality and what our philosophy and how it empowered us to live life and make certain actions. So again, like even with her words here, Aaron's words, looking at this, we would have to give ourselves the space to think things through, right? So with Jupiter being in Gemini, what is Gemini? For one, Gemini is a mutable air sign and is ruled by Mercury. So even this transit, as Jupiter is going through, we also want to look at what Mercury is doing, because that would also give us information. If you want to do a deeper dive, you could do that. With it being in Gemini, so Gemini's motto is, I think, Gemini is more concerned about the intellectual realm. It's more concerned about information, gathering and sharing it, communicating it. And I give you all these keywords here. So adaptability tends to be changeable because it's a mutable sign. Also air, so that makes it very changeable. It could also express itself as nervous energy sometimes. Curious, duality, superficiality, again, to intelligence, writing, versatility, expression, all of these different things Gemini represents, and Jupiter is expanding these qualities in our lives, the necessary need to take more risk in these areas of life, or to expand our experience of Gemini. So we are seeing this much so. So again, you want to look at where Gemini is placed in your chart. Excuse me, and see like how Jupiter is manifesting here, because he's bringing up a lot of stuff and how maybe you would be fickle. Okay, what are we fickle about? Is it because it's actually not something that we value, and so we keep saying that we say yes to these different opportunities, hanging out with friends, and maybe go on a business trip, do all these things, and then last minute we're like, never mind. Okay, well, thinking that through, why is that the experience that we're having? Are we actually fickle, or do we feel like we have to say yes because we might think this is the only opportunity I have and I need to do this so that I can grow? When really that's not necessarily true. That's just your limited frame of thinking. And Jupiter going retrograde is giving you this time to think about this. What am I actually saying yes to? Because if you're saying yes to certain things, you're saying no to a lot of other things as well. And we want to make sure that we are in alignment to our capital T truth. And that's Jupiter as well. So I think with them going through Gemini, we're going to really be reflecting on these things. So this is another quote that I like by Norman Vincent Peale. Change your thoughts and you change the world. This is like the core, right, of what Gemini believes. I think, therefore I am. And so if we change our perspective of things, if we learn something new, if we connect with different people, we will see the world differently and therefore able to see opportunities that are actually there that may not have been apparent because we didn't know, right? And so Jupiter, again, being in Gemini is expanding our awareness of what we do not know and how we can go about changing that. And so this is a beautiful opportunity. Jupiter will be in Gemini. I think I'm getting ahead of myself there, but he'll be there for some time now. He's getting at the tail end. He's currently at 21 degrees Gemini and stationing retrograde here. So he's at the tail end of Gemini. But this is giving us this time to really think about what do we actually think. It gets a little meta here, but the dates to look out for, because that's also what I said I will tell you about. Jupiter will be retrograde in Gemini from October 9th till February 3rd of 2025. So this is going to give us some good amount of time to really think about the Gemini things, the Gemini area of our life. Okay, so between this time, what this retrograde actually means is it's a great time to give yourself some downtime to rethink, reassociate, realign with the values in your moral code. This is a time to reassess your power and personal authorities in terms of what you actually believe, and not being really concerned for social acceptance, right? And this is very important with Jupiter retrograde. If you get anything out of that, it's to really be concerned about what you believe and not being concerned being socially accepted by many others. So this is what Jupiter wants us to understand as it goes retrograde during this period. Now, to get more into the nuance of this retrograde, so starting off on October 9th, this is when that stationing is happening, that will give us this experience that this continual growth and expansion that we once hoped for from this year is now starting to slow down and become withdrawn. You might actually already be feeling this because we're well into, getting ready for this retrograde. When this video comes out, we got like 3 days from the stationing retrograde. So you're probably already feeling this. You might also be feeling an ego deflation. Maybe something's happened and you're like, well, this is weird. I thought I wanted this. How they responded over here, it's now making me question if I even want this. I know, like, for me, the way this is expressing itself is like, maybe I don't want to travel as much outside of my own town to do a thing. Maybe I want to do it more closer to home. And so this is something that I like identified with as being a traveler, as being more nomadic, not being afraid of traveling and going out there and doing all the things. Getting outside of my town has always been like a part of my identity, part of my belief system. I say identity because I'm also a Gemini, but so that's also entangled in this retrograde. But now, as I'm noticing the shift, this retrograde, I have been really questioning the need to get outside of my town. Like, where is that necessary now? Is that a necessary belief now? So this is going to be really interesting to see how it continues to unfold and manifest as this retrograde goes. But this might be an experience you have, especially you being a Gemini too. But yeah, ego deflation. You might become disheartened by your environment. You might, or the way you've been going about this Gemini house. Um, with me being a Leo rising, Gemini is my 11th house of friendships, association with organizations, but how my wishes and my dreams, how I go about, also my income from my reputation, all of these things. Now it's being questioned with Jupiter retrograde. So now, yeah, we might be getting disheartened by this Gemini area of our lives, and our energy is now being turned inward. And this is a very sacred thing. This is not something to be ashamed of. That now you're questioning. Like for me, now I'm questioning: do I really need to be traveling outside of my town to do what I need to do? Can I do it differently? This is not a thing to be ashamed of. This is actually good questions to ask. And or like other people, they might be asking, is this really the right career path for me? If you're a Gemini, you might be asking this too, because the sun also has to do with career. Is this the way I really want to show up? Do I really believe I need to show up in this way to actually be successful? What is success to me now? These are really good questions for Jupiter retrograde. But yes, all these things are your energy is being turned inward, or asking yourself these questions and giving yourself that space to ask these questions. It's so important. And it's okay that you might change your mind. That is also Gemini, a mutable air sign. It's okay to change your mind and ask these questions. It's actually a cathartic thing. This is a necessary thing. That means you're growing. That means you're evolving. You're considering your experiences and the information that is relevant to you at this time. And maybe you might be realizing that you might need more time to evolve your ideas and your projects or your relationships or your plan. And that retrograde is making this reflection happen. Okay. So actually, I kind of want to change screens, what I'm sharing, for a second. Present something else. Ooh, I could do that. That's cool. Okay. So looking at this chart, I'm actually going to move this a little bit over here so I can see this differently. Uh-oh. Okay, you can still see it. Good. All right. So we're looking at October 9th. Now moving on to little things here. Okay. Moving on to November 8th. So I usually don't use the minor aspects in my readings, but I like to pay attention to them during retrogrades because they really are very telling. So just be aware if you ever got a reading with me, or if you are looking forward to having a reading with me. Usually I don't consider quincunxes or any minor aspects, but in these cases I do, because I've been noticing that they actually do have a say and show up very clearly during the retrograde cycle. And actually, I kind of want to change this so that it's less confusing. Let's see, is it Jupiter and Sun? Okay, cool. Yeah, so I took all the other planets and points off, and we're just looking simply at Jupiter's relationship to the Sun. So on November 8th, 2024, I'm going to move it hours. Yeah, this Jupiter had a retrograde quincunxes the Sun on November 8th, from November 8th to November 12th. And so during this time, I say beware, because this might provoke an urge to make sudden decisions, to withdraw one's energy, your energy, and it can be very reactionary. Something happens, and now you feel like you need to protect yourself. You might even like start creating new plans because you're reacting to it rapidly, and this is like, well, if you do react this way, realize you will have to revise this after the retrograde, because this is not what you're reacting to, is really not the root of it. So I just say beware to not really try to make some new rapid plans, or if you have to, realize it's not going to be long lasting. This is not going to last forever. So let's say in this chart, the sun is transiting in the career and Jupiter is in the fifth of children. Let's say your child suddenly needs to be homeschooled, or like it's not able to be at school, and that really changes how, and it affects your career, how you show up at work. And now you gotta like be at home, you gotta like do certain things, teach them, and this could be really impacting your ability to climb the ladder in your career. It really changes your perspective on what career actually looks like for you. So you might have to do these setting changes, and just know it's not going to last the whole time. This is just a period of like where it's necessary. Maybe you have to take off work or something, and that affects you and your ability to climb that ladder, or your perception. It affects your perception of how you climb that ladder. So moving on to November 30th, the sun is in opposition to Jupiter retrograde. Okay. And so this really, during this time, it intensifies our situation, dealing with our creative expression that might have been suppressed or swallowed when Jupiter stationed retrograde, like it had to be for whatever reason. And now it's like there's this intense feeling, um, you know, like you want to now express it, like it resurges with a vengeance. And as things are put in the dark, eventually they come to light. Like that is kind of like what's going on right now. And so if this happens, when this happens, don't think you're doing anything wrong, anything's bad. Just bring awareness to the situation. Anytime I see oppositions, that just says to me, I like to tell my clients, just bring awareness to the situation. You don't have to do anything, just awareness and balance, and asking yourself, am I projecting onto the situation or onto this person? And really, this is something I need to take ownership for. This is where I need to be more disciplined. This is where I need to be more authoritative. This is more, I need to be more something. And just bringing awareness here. It doesn't mean you're a bad person. It doesn't mean you're terrible at whatever. Like, you just need to bring awareness to the situation. So, because you're going to be feeling a lot. You're going to be seeing what you don't have and what they might have. And this is annoying. But leave room for replanning. Leave room for understanding your desires, understanding your projections, understanding what is needed in this situation. Because this is a big part of your retrograde story, Jupiter retrograde story. Okay. So November 30th till the December 13th, you'll be really feeling this experience. So on December 31st of this year, Jupiter has that is a decelerating quincunx with the sun. This is where many adjustments and revising is needing to happen. So it's a great time to outline a plan based on your retrograde experience. but know that there's more time in this retrograde experience. So there's going to be more information that you're going to need to consider. But yeah, you're starting to feel a little more hopeful now because you're starting to see things a little bit more clearly. But no, there's still more because things are not clear completely yet because the retrograde cycle is not complete yet. Okay, so from January 23rd till February 6th, 2025, so January 23rd, 2025 till February 6th, 2025, Jupiter will trine the sun. And so this is indicating that the retrograde is about to be complete. And then so Jupiter is slowing down. We're getting ready to station, or it's getting ready to station direct. And so you can start feeling really excited because you're like, I can feel like I can take action. It's starting to swell. It's starting to swell. The excitement's swelling up. But again, this is not a time to take action. This is a time to conserve that energy and know that that energy that's surging up is going to be help you propel you forward further. So don't, again, if you can help it, don't make any sudden plans or commitments, I should say, sudden commitments, because this is not where the energy needs to go just yet. Okay, and then on February 3rd of next year, this is when Jupiter's stationing direct. So we're getting ready to unleash that excitement, and that can lead us to be very impulsive. So again, let's wait because that trine is still there. Let's wait. Try to keep that energy contained. But we're getting a better understanding of where we're going, and opportunities is feeling like they're starting to rise. Now, when I don't know, this is so long because but Jupiter on May 4th of next year, Jupiter is out of retrograde. So let's say you unleash that energy, you commit to some new opportunities that are in your awareness, and you're able to learn new things, you're able to communicate with new folk, you're able to travel to a new place. Things are looking real good. Let's say you do unleash that energy around February 3rd because it's Jupiter stationing direct. When May 4th comes around, that's the time when you're actually building up momentum and things are flowing again. Things are moving again. And now you feel super unstoppable. So that, this cycle is really, really interesting because, again, this is really teaching us about ourselves and what we actually believe is possible for ourselves, and in relation to our own growth and not like other people's expectation. So let me, to finish off this talk with you, I'm going to pull a card to kind of support you. To support you on your retrograde journey. I'm going to shuffle it 3 times. I already shuffled it. Let's see what card needs to be said. It needs to be said for people moving on it. What does the collective need to level? Nice. Knight of Pentacles is the card I got. Knight of Pentacles. So what this tells me, simply said, just keep going. You got this. You have the discipline. You have the information you need. You have the capabilities. You have the resources. Just keep going. Even when things, maybe you can't even see it. Like this person's eyes are not even exposed, like they can't see, like there's like a weird fog or something. But deep down, she knows where she's going and she's supported. She has a horse, so she's supported in getting there faster. But maybe in this retrograde, you might feel like you can't see clearly. You can't, you don't understand where we're going, but keep moving forward. Don't stop. Don't look back. Don't wish things were, like they were in the past. Don't do any of that. Like, just know like you are at the right place at the right time. You are where you need to be. And you must keep going. So that is the Jupiter retrograde and Gemini talk. I'm really excited to see how this unfolds for you, and I hope that this video has been helpful for you. Definitely refer to this video as many times as you need to just stay focused on what you need to do and just keep doing the things. I'm here for you. I love making this content, and so definitely reach out. Let me know in the comments below if this is actually helpful. I would love to hear from you. So that's all I have to say. That's what I have prepared. Yeah, just let me know what you think about this video. And other than that, I hope you have a great retrograde experience. Goodbye.